Hey guys, what's up? It's time to do the October Shop My Stash, and this is not the October products. These are the products from last month, so I always do a recap, see where things are. That's kind of why I love doing Shop My Stash. I want to really know my makeup products and make sure I still like everything. So let's just dive in. This is the Super Fun Night palette by Too Faced. It's a limited edition, got as a gift, and I only brought this in for the highlighter, which is the Dashing Through the Glow. This whole time I thought it was called Dashing Through the Snow. Okay. Anyway, I used this 12 times total. I had this in for 2 months, and I used it, 6 times this month and 6 times in August. So it's a very subtle highlighter. I'm going to roll that one out this month. It's still good. Still like it. That's fine. This is the old Too Faced limited edition Beauty Wishes and Sweet Kisses palette that I received one year as a gift. This is the Snow Bunny bronzer. Last month I was like, yeah, I like it, I want to keep it. Now I'm kind of not so sure. I use it as a highlighter. I said that like 500 times on this channel. It's subtle, and that actually works out for me. I personally don't like to wear blinding highlight on a work day. I just kind of want to be low key, and it's great for that, but I don't know if it's like worth keeping. And I brought this Chocolate Soleil bronzer in as well. Really like this one. You can even see like a little dip going in there because I don't have a whole lot of bronzers. I do like that one. I just think that this is a lot of packaging for what's in it. It's very bulky. I might just pull out the bronzer and get rid of everything else. The eyeshadows I already have in my Chocolate Bar palette. I don't really need, duplicates of those shades. So yeah, I don't have any decisions made on that, but I do like the bronzer. And the highlighter is just okay. All right, moving on. I used the Glossier Cloud Paint in Storm. This guy I used 7 times this month, which is pretty good for me. I really like this. It's newer in my collection, and I do want to get more use out of this over the next few months because I don't tend to wear blush like this in the spring and summer. It is a little bit darker, and also the fact that it's a cream product, I'm a little bit less willing to sit on cream products the way I used to be. I might take it out for October, but then like pull it back in November kind of a thing. So we'll see. I do really like it. It's really pretty. So I've enjoyed using that. Here's another bronzer that I pulled in, the Betty Luminizer bronzer by The Balm. I only used this guy 4 times this month. I just didn't feel as drawn to this as the Chocolate Soleil bronzer or the one I'm panning at the moment, the contour stick. I don't know. I think it's a little too summery for me, and I think that's why I was kind of not wanting to use it as much. Not that I don't like it. I think it's a really nice pigmented, warm bronzer. It's like has a little bit of shimmer in there. Just not one I tend to wear as we get more into fall. Beginning of September, I did get more use out of this. Lancome Idole mascara. I didn't like tally how many times I used it. I just made a point of using it this month because I kind of have been ignoring it for other mascaras I'm trying to pan. And I don't love this. I don't think I ever loved it even when it was newer. I just got this as a sample in December, and it's okay. Like, it doesn't add as much volume as I want it to, and it's not as thickening, but it does add definition. I would not buy this full size. I'm going to continue using it, maybe next month as well and try to pan it, but it is getting kind of dry too, I feel like. Nyx Blush in the shade Dusty Rose. This is, pretty old packaging, pretty old in general. I wanted to use this and see how I felt about it because it is older. It is a pretty pigmented rosy blush. I wasn't really sure if it was something I needed to keep around because of the age. I actually used this 7 times this past month. I actually enjoyed using this. I think because sometimes I just didn't want to use a cream blush, you know what I mean? And rub it in and deal with all that. I just felt that this was quicker to use and it is more pigmented. So a little bit went a long way. It was just quicker and faster. I thought that was pretty handy. I don't think I wanted to declutter this. I was kind of debating. I mean, yeah, I probably need to clean the packaging a little bit, but other than that, I think it's a fine blush. It's fine. So I'll keep using that until I can't stand it anymore. And the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. Oh, I actually did something interesting where I used this shade up here. It's like a cool toned shade and mixed it with this crease shade here. And it kind of looked cool, even though they're definitely not shadows I would ever think to mix together, but I don't know what made me want to do that. This by itself I wasn't crazy about, so I wanted to add a little bit of warmth. I don't know, but it worked. I use this shade down here mainly as an eyeliner because it is so black and it worked really well for that. I didn't use these two as much. I might keep this in just for a little bit in October, just so I get use out of the two green ones. I think October's a fun month to use like greens, and like this looks kind of Halloween-y to me. Normally I'm not a huge fan of like green eyeshadow, but if it's like a shade like this, I don't mind that as much, and this is kind of dark and fun. But it doesn't look very impressive right now. It looks pretty crumbly. I actually don't mind using it as long as it's not like irritating my eyes, so I don't think I'm gonna declutter it right now. I think I still kind of can get more use out of it. I brought in these two Mosquito eyeliners. I just really like using this overall. It's a brown eyeliner, so that's fine. This black one, though, is not going to make it in my collection. It needs to be decluttered. It just doesn't perform well anymore. It skips a lot. It's just too much of a pain in the ass to use when I already have black eyeliners that actually do work, so we are decluttering this one. The Smashbox Trio in Sepia. I use this white shade 4 times just to kind of set my primer. I really enjoyed using this dark purpley brown, using that in the crease, and the one right here that I'm pointing at felt like it looked a lot like Buon Fresco from Modern Renaissance. So I only used the medium shade twice, and I used the dark shade 3 times. Not like a whole lot, but enough where I feel satisfied rolling it out, kind of a thing. Not much more to say about it. I did enjoy using it. It was nice to use in September. The Lorac Eye Shadow in the shade Delight. I only used this 2 times this past month, and that does not surprise me at all because this is a, it's a brighter color. It stands out a little bit more. I feel like it does not look like crazy like on an everyday basis, but it is a very specific noticeable shade. I did get a lot of compliments on this eyeshadow actually, which was fun, but I'm just happy I got 2 uses out of it just because it was just something different. This Elf eyeshadow in the shade Bark, you put it on and you don't think anything is showing up on your lid, and then all of a sudden like there's tons of eyeshadow on your lid. Like you're building up, you're like, where is this shadow? When is it gonna start turning up? And then all of a sudden it turns up and you're like, whoa. Yeah, so you have to be careful with it. I don't love the packaging of it. Can't really depot it. It's just like an odd single. You know what I mean? Like I have another Elf single like this, and I don't really feel comfortable traveling with them because of the packaging, and which, I don't travel a whole lot, but it's like something to think about. And there's a heck of a lot of product in here, but it is an easy eyeshadow to wear because it goes all over the lid. It's simple. You just have to be careful that you don't overdo it. So I'll keep it for now. I don't not like it. I used this 4 times. So that's like about typical for an eyeshadow for me in these Shop My Stash cycles. So this is Grace by Bareminerals, and this is, I can't open it up, I'm sorry, but it is a very shimmery, not super pigmented, kind of color. It's very user-friendly, I guess. I wore it more in the beginning of September. I used this 4 times though. I just wanted to use it because it was easy. So I had to like make myself not try to reach for it so I could rotate other things. It also doesn't stand out to me now, like thinking back, like what did this even look like again? Like I already forgot like how it looks on me. I really need to use this more and understand this one because that was the whole point of me bringing it in. Like towards the end of the month, I kind of stopped using it and now I forgot what it looks like. So, I'm definitely gonna have to pull this out again soon just to kind of understand like what the heck's going on with it. And I know it's an easy one to use because shades like this usually are, but it's not enough information for me right now to know if I love this enough to keep it. So I have to play with this again. This is the Ulta Soiree lipstick. I used this 3 times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you know anything about me, 3 times is a lot for this kind of color. This is just like a pink lipstick. So anything that's not nude, it's a great thing if I can even use it more than twice. Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in Frickin' Frack. I used this twice, so again, not surprising because of the kind of shade it is. This one comes up on me as like a medium red, soft red. And I really love the formula of this. But other than that, like, I just did not see myself pulling for this a whole lot. But I am not surprised by that at all. When I pulled it in, I did not expect to use it a lot. I'm happy to have used it at all. Like, that's that kind of product. It is a very comfortable formula. So I'm happy I used it twice. And I will continue to keep it until it goes bad. All right, I almost forgot about this guy. This is the NYX Round Lipstick in the shade Perfect. That's how much is left. I used it 5 times in September. The only thing I will say about it is it does smell like soap, which I guess there's like much worse things it could smell like. But yeah, it smells like soap and it is a very slippery formula. So I try not to pile it on too much, but it does go down relatively quickly because it is such a soft formula. Nice type of nude for fall, so I was really happy to bring it in. I could try to pan it because there is so little left, but I'm almost not in the mood to pan it either. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those lipsticks that I don't mind keeping in for a month, but then I want to put it away and not use it for a few more months. I do want to get my older lipsticks moved out. I do like the shade, so I don't want to just toss it out either, but it doesn't bother me aside from the smell, sort of. It's not like an old smell, it's just, it smells like soap and it always smelled like soap. So just don't know if I'm gonna put it in a project quite yet, or if I'm just gonna whip it out maybe in the beginning of 2022. We'll see how it goes. I just have other lipsticks I need to use right now. This is the Anastasia Chocolate Dip Brow Pomade, and this is a Morphe Micro Brow Pencil. I like the Micro Brow Pencil a lot, the Morphe one. And this one, I was kind of like, oh god, it's this thing again. It is a little bit dry, but I don't remember if it was always that dry. And I'm gonna continue to use this because this thing was like 18 bucks, and if it still works, like, I'm not gonna like buy another brow product. Like, it's just a brow product, so I can just keep using this forever and ever until it's like unusable. So that's what I'm gonna do. Also pulled in this NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Praline. I enjoyed using this. I didn't think it was anything like particularly special, but I like the formula. Hydrated my lips. I mean, not that it's like really brown, but you know, if I wanted to lighten it up a little bit, I was able to do that. One of those shades that might be a little too dark for me to wear in spring and summer. Like, I don't typically go for those times of the year, so I want to take advantage of it when I can, so I was happy I was able to do that. Those are all the products that I used in September, and yeah, we're going to move into the October products that I'm going to pick out. All right, it's time to pick out some eyeshadows. This should be pretty quick because I already have a pretty good idea of what I want to use. So I'm going to pull in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is usually out of my dresser because I am trying to pan the Salted Caramel shade. You all know what this looks like by now, but this is one of those palettes you could use literally any time during the year. But for me, it's a quintessential fall palette, and maybe even like February, you know, because of Valentine's Day and chocolate, and there's like pink in there. I want to get as much use out of this as I can because I do really enjoy this palette, and seeing all of these shades every time I use Salted Caramel in my project, I just get really excited and want to use them all, but fall is kind of when I want to use them more intentionally. So I'm probably going to keep this one in for 2 months. So I think that'll be a good amount of time with all the shadows that are in here to get, you know, as much use as I can out of them. So that'll be one thing I bring in. If you missed my recap, I did mention wanting to pull this back in again just to use this green shade up here and this darker green. It's a dark blackened green. I didn't use these at all last month, so I'll keep it in for another month and maybe get like 1 or 2 uses out of these 2 shadows. I think I'm actually going to pull out this Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I've been bringing this in a lot throughout the year. I want to focus mainly on the purples in the last row here because I think those will be really pretty for, you know, Halloween, like that kind of vibe. So definitely not going to use all of these, I don't think, unless maybe the oranges, but the purples are kind of the ones that I really want to focus on. So these 4 shades over here. Any other MAC shades here that I want to use? I feel like I can wait another month to use these more reddish ones. So I'm going to skip over MAC this month. I'm going to use Colourpop's Mooning. This shade is a brown sparkly color. Since this is like a darker brown shade, again, I only use colors like this mainly around fall or colder months. So I'm looking forward to using this, especially since it's a cream product. I always want to get as much use out of these as I can. So I don't think I really love this. I feel like every time I pull this in, I'm just like, it's fine, whatever. And then I put it back in my collection. There's a lot of shadows that I have that are like that, where I'm just like not that impressed. I'm just like, it's another brown shadow, but it's here. So we're going to use it now because what other time would be better to use a brown than fall, right? So pull that guy in. And I'm actually going to pull in 2 of these. They're right here side by side. So Charleston by Bareminerals, which I'll show you the swatch in a second, and Soul Sister. Charleston's on the top and Soul Sister's on the bottom. So they're both kind of purpley. One on the bottom is way more purple than the one on the top, but again, more purples. I say this every single Shop My Stash. I'm trying to see if I can whittle some of these out because I'm getting a little bored of them, or I know a lot of them I don't really love as much as I think I do, or like as much as I want to like them, and everything's just getting old. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna look on me. I always forget every single time. So I feel like that's not a good sign. I'm all about using my eyeshadows and, you know, using them as much as I can, but I am starting to get a little over a lot of my eyeshadows. It just makes shopping my stash not as easy anymore, you know what I mean? So I don't know, we'll see. But I think when I have them out on my dresser and I'm using them, I'll change my mind. But it's something to take a note of. I know that's kind of getting off track here, but it kind of was a thought that I had as I was looking at my eyeshadows and how I'm starting to kind of feel towards everything. So I think between all the eyeshadows in my project pan and these, I have a good enough selection, and this is just going to be a very purple and brown kind of month, and green too. So I think that makes sense for October. It sounds very Halloween-y, very fall, so I'm excited to switch out to these, and we'll see how everything goes. All right, for blush, I usually pull in 2 every month because I do have a project pan one. I don't want to overwhelm myself, so let's take a look. I do think I want to do something a little bit more sparkly and warm toned, so I don't think there's anything in that tray. Actually, there is this discontinued Milani blush. This one is called Red Vino, and it's not one that I normally think to use. It's not like an everyday blush to me, because it is kind of sparkly, but I feel like this fits the fall vibe. Yeah, this does seem like a very fall kind of shade for me. It does look very pigmented, so I'll have to remember to use a light hand. I'll see how it actually goes on, but I don't use this blush a lot at all. So I am trying to be mindful of using everything, so I think this is a great time to pull it in. This is one I pulled in last fall. I always bring this one in around this time as well. This is called Apricot Berry by Laura Geller, and this is just another really pretty glowy blush. So both of these I think will look really nice for October. I don't know, I'm on the fence if I should bring in something a little bit less sparkly too, just to kind of bounce it out. There are days that I'm not going to want to be as flashy, but let me see. Oh, how about one of these NYX blushes that I am trying to decide which one to declutter. I feel like I used this one recently, so Angel might be the one that I pull in just to have something not so sparkly, you know, because there's going to be days where I won't want to do that. So it's subtle, but it's still noticeable. So I'm going to see if I still like this. I think I still do. I mean, I hit pan on it, so I do like it. So I'm going to pull this one in as well just to mix it up. And that will be it for my blush. Right now I'm trying to pan, I think, 2 lip glosses and a lipstick, so I want to keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to pull in this Ever shade by NYX. This is a lip pencil, obviously, and I just like this because it's a deeper pink and one that will look nice, I think, for fall. So I'll pull this one in. I enjoy that. And I also want to pull out, sorry if you hear kids in the background, I can't control that right now, but hopefully you don't hear them too much. I want to pull in a purple lipstick because, you know, fall. I want to do a purple and a red. And I don't have a lot of purples. I do have these 3, which are like plummy or vampy kind of purple colors. This is so old. I actually had this in a project. And I guess I'm gonna pull it in this month. Really dark colors like this, I don't wear a whole lot. So I don't expect to use this more than like 2 times or 3 times. Yeah, it's just a plum lipstick with a little bit of like gold fleck in it. It's really, really pretty. It's just really old. Did I even say the shade? This is called Plum Brulee by Bareminerals. I love this shade. I just wish it wasn't so old. But I'll pull it in and see what's going on with that. And I do want to pull in a red. Or do I want to pull in a red? Del Rio. Okay, let's do Del Rio. I feel like Del Rio is a little bit darker. It's not super dark. This reminds me a little bit of Frickin' Frack, maybe a little bit deeper. Let me compare it. Because Frickin' Frack I used last month, and yeah, they're very similar. I'm not gonna like try to push myself to use all these colored lipsticks. I think this is more than enough. So I have these 2 and I have this Ever lip pencil. So these 3, I'm gonna see how much use I get out of them this month, and I think they're easy enough to use. I'm looking forward to it. It's not too many products. I think that's manageable. It is time to pull in some new bronzers and highlighters. So that's what we're gonna do. Nope, just use that. And okay, the next thing that's in the lineup, I don't have a lot of bronzers. Literally, it's just like this guy and these guys. That's it. These are the only bronzers I have. So I'm gonna pull this one in. I'm not necessarily crazy about this palette. I think it's like on the chopping block for me. Like they work fine enough, but I just don't like bronzer palettes like this. I don't use a lot of the stuff up here. It's not like the powders up here are kind of useless to me. I feel like I mainly got it because of this, to be perfectly honest with you, this yellow shade. But yeah, we're gonna give her a go. I'm gonna keep this in for 2 months because that's what I normally do with my bronzers because I only have so few. Um, so yeah, we'll just pull it in, get some use out of it. And the packaging is like awful. Like it's already cracking and it's Makeup Revolution. It's not my favorite makeup brand. I just wanted something a little bit cheaper than the more expensive versions, and I'm glad I did get the cheaper version because it helped me realize how much I don't love palettes like this. And if I had bought the more expensive one, I think I just would have felt the same way. Um, but we'll see. And who knows, maybe I'll get some use out of the setting powders up here as well. So we'll see. And it does have two highlighters here, so maybe those will be my highlighters for the month or part of it. So I'll try to see what I can do with this. I do want to pull in one more highlighter though. This is all the highlighters I have as well. I'm not a big highlighter person, but I like to have a little bit. So I'm gonna pull in this MAC one. So I haven't used this one in a while. It is cream product. This one is called Pearl. It's getting up there and it is cream. So, I mean, it smells fine. It works fine. At least it did the last time I used it. So we'll see where we're at with this. But yeah, like a lot of my makeup, it is getting up there in age. So this is a great time to use it. It's been a while. It's time. So I'll pull that one in. And that'll be it for my bronzers and highlighters. I think that's the perfect amount. And in this container here is my mascaras and some primers in here and eyeliners. So I am interested in pulling in a black eyeliner because I always wear black around this time of the year. It just feels appropriate to do so. So I'm going to pull in this Avon. It's just called the Avon Black Eyeliner. It's okay. It's not bad. It's creamy enough that it's not tugging on my eyes, and that's a win for me. Actually, I think I'm going to pull in none of those. This Almay brown liquid eyeliner. I'm trying to pan the Almay Raisin Quartz, which is the same exact line. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about decluttering the one that's in my project, and if I feel like that towards the Raisin Quartz one, I more than likely might feel like that towards this because I got them around the same time. So I'm just getting a little bit over these particular liquid liners. I might actually enjoy using this a little bit more because it is brown and that's the color that I'm into right now for eyeliner. And I feel like I want to use this Physicians Formula Sexy Booster Ultra Black eyeliner as well because these are all really old and I feel like there's not a whole lot left in here. So I could be completely wrong. I just feel like it's not, well, okay, of course now it is swatching really, really black, but sometimes when I put it on, I feel like it doesn't look that dark, so it makes me feel like there's not a lot left, but we'll see. So I think 2 black and 1 brown for now should be fine. I'm not feeling super experimental, and honestly, if I wanted to, I could even use this green over here as an eyeliner as well, so I have some options for the month. And that'll be it for eyeliners. I'm not going to pull in any lip gloss this month because I feel like between panning my 2 lip glosses and then using the butter gloss last month, I'm kind of just not wanting to pull a gloss in. I don't have a lot of those, so I'm okay with that decision. Jumping back into the eye products again, I'm probably going to pull in this Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I've been ignoring this brow gel for a couple months, I think because I really don't know why. I think because I just use my brow products and comb it through and then forget about it, and I don't even think to use this as an extra step because I don't really have wild brow hairs. But I do like this brow product and I just want to use it because it is a gel formula, so I don't want it just sitting here, so I need to use it. So this will be coming in, and now that I'm looking at this, I might bring this guy into the NYX glitter primer, especially if I'm using the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow. It might look really nice with that, and I haven't really used this much lately either, so I need to make a point of using everything. So mascaras, I'm gonna just keep using all of my mascaras. I have 2 sample ones in my collection and like this full size one and like a cake mascara that I don't really use a whole lot, but I just rotate these anyway, so I don't feel the need to bring in anything specific for that. I continue using these, nothing new and exciting there, so those will get used this month. All right, so these are the products I'm bringing in for October. Usually I film myself like putting them into my little containers on my dresser, but I'm gonna skip that this month just so I can get the video up. It's a lot to edit sometimes, so I will maybe do that next month. But for now, this is what I'm using. I'm really excited to get some use out of like both of these palettes, or just everything really, because I love to rotate my stuff. I think it's really important to do that and make sure everything's still functioning properly, that I like everything. I do know my collection doesn't change a whole lot because I don't shop for makeup a whole lot, so I can never tell if these are interesting. Based on views and stuff, it seems like you guys do like these. Yeah, definitely leave me a comment if this is something you're still into, especially since my collection is so old. I am starting myself to feel like I'm getting over a lot of my makeup right now, and I do feel a declutter coming on and potentially bringing in new things. I say this a lot. I just feel like as more time goes on, I'm getting more over a lot of things in my collection, but I will continue to do these and just go with it for now. Thank you so much for joining me for this October Shop My Stash. I hope you consider subscribing and liking and joining me for other Shop My Stashes. We'll talk to you guys later and see you in my next video. Bye!